Now, what is purchase consideration? The first accounting step. See, in Pursue Ram Rupia De, Pursue Cash De, the first P was purchase consideration. This is purchase consideration. What is purchase consideration? It is the amount paid or payable by the purchasing company to the shareholders. Who are the shareholders? Equity and preference of the selling company. It is always calculated as per net payment method. Now, friends and my dear colleagues who have joined this, may it be students from graduation and then PG or CA course, and my dear faculties who are here, the purchase consideration, whenever we have to understand and account for in amalgamation, it is always the purchase consideration as calculated by net payment method. Why it is so? The reason is that many a times we see to it that the purchase consideration by net payment method and net asset method, which we'll see hereafter, are different. And whenever they are different, there is a confusion. Out of which these two amounts, the amount is to be taken as PC. Then friends, understand one thing. PC means the purchase consideration by net payment method only, because it is the amount paid by the purchasing company to the shareholders of the selling company. So whenever we say PC, it is always in 100% cases PC by net payment method. So if we have two different amounts and which will be there, net payment PC is different, net asset PC is different. For our accounting purpose, what will be our PC? It is always net payment PC. Why net asset PC we calculate and all that, that we'll see in the later slide. But purchase consideration means, once for all, we have to understand it is always by the net payment method only. Then what it has in purchase consideration by net payment method, normally we have equity shares in purchasing company given by purchasing company to the equity shareholders of the selling company. So equity shareholders of the selling company, they normally get equity shares in the purchasing company. So equity shareholders के लिए purchasing company से equity shares आ रहे. Then it includes preference shares in purchasing company for the preference shareholders of the selling company. इसका मतलब प्रेफरेंस शेयर होल्डर जो सेलिंग कंपनी के है, उनके लिए परचेसिंग कंपनी को प्रेफरेंस शेयर दे रही है. ऐसा जरूरी नहीं है, परचेसिंग कंपनी उनको इक्विटी शेयर्स भी दे सकती है. बट नॉर्मली इन अ प्रॉब्लम वी सी टू इट दैट द प्रेफरेंस शेयर होल्डर्स ऑफ द सेलिंग कंपनी दे गेट प्रेफरेंस शेयर्स इन द परचेसिंग कंपनी. Also, these shareholders at times, normally in our TY exam and CA exam also we ask, they also are paid some amount in cash, that is actually by check, that is in proportion to the number of equity shares and preference shares that they are holding in the selling company. So normally this adjustment is worded like this: equity shareholders of the selling company are given ₹5 cash for 4 equity shares held by them in the purchasing company. तो अगर जिनके पास 4 शेयर है उनको ₹5 कैश मिलेगा. तो टोटल अगर शेयर 4 लाख है तो 4 शेयर्स पे 5 लाख, 4 लाख पे कितना? So that will be the amount paid by purchasing company to the equity shareholders of the selling company. Similarly, there could be cash paid by purchasing company to the preference shareholders of the selling company. So it is like this, that ₹20 are paid in cash by the purchasing company to the preference shareholders of the selling company, where ₹20 is paid for 50 preference shares held by preference shareholders. तो 50 शेयर्स के लिए ₹20. तो अगर उनके पास समझो 2 लाख शेयर्स है तो कितना? So that is how that cash is calculated. So that is also part of PC. And finally, whenever amalgamation expenses are reimbursed by purchasing company, means they are paid separately by purchasing company to the selling company, that also forms the part of PC. So in short, in a net payment purchase consideration calculation, what we have equity shares in purchasing company that is given to the equity shareholders of the selling company. Then preference shares in purchasing company, those are given to the preference shareholders of the selling company. Point number 3, there could be some cash paid in proportionate to the number of shares held by equity shareholders and preference shareholders in selling company, to both equity and preference shareholders of the selling company. And lastly, there could be some cash paid separately by purchasing company to the selling company for incurring or paying amalgamation expenses. One important point, whatever may be the adjustment that we give for debenture holders, understand one thing, debenture holders are not the owners of the business. They are the creditors of the business, they are outsider. So whenever something is given to outsider, that will never become part of your PC. Because what is PC, purchase consideration? It is the amount paid by purchasing company to the shareholders of the selling company. So debenture holders are not shareholders, they are the creditors because they have given loan to the company in the name of debentures. So whatever adjustment will be there for these debenture holders, understand one thing, that is simply to be made by the purchasing company. So in the books of purchasing company, when we pass accounting entries, this adjustment for settling debentures of the selling company, whatever may be that adjustment, we have taken one of the difficult adjustment. We'll see that afterwards. But that is to be done, not in the books of selling company, but in the books of purchasing company. And whatever is given to debenture holders by the purchasing company, that will never become part of your net payment PC. Then what is net asset purchase consideration? See, actually, net asset purchase consideration nothing but the net worth of the business of the selling company. For example, whenever any business is to be taken over, first we have to understand कि what is the value of that business. अगर से हमें किसी बिजनेस को टेक ओवर करना है तो पहले हमको ये देखना पड़ेगा कि उसका प्राइस कितना है और उस प्राइस के सामने हमको कितना देना है, ज्यादा देना है, कम देना है, दैट इज द नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन. But first to understand what is the value, that is the net worth of the business, this is the purchase consideration which we calculate, and that is called as net assets purchase consideration. How it is calculated? It is agreed values of assets taken over. I repeat, first of all, it is not the book value. इसका मतलब बैलेंस शीट में जो अमाउंट दिया गया है सेलिंग कंपनी के, that will not be the value as agreed value. So I will give you two examples. Suppose balance sheet में लिखा है plant and machinery 20 lakhs और purchasing company that plant and machinery has taken over said 18 lakhs. So we will write 18 lakhs here as the agreed value of machinery. We will not take 20 lakhs. So for all the assets and liabilities, you will be given agreed value in the problem. So at times it is direct and in some time it is to be calculated. But one more important point that every student has to understand, and this normally we do. In TYBCom we hardly do it, but in CA exam we always do it in 100% cases. Particular asset, we say that it is taken over by the purchasing company. I repeat, particular asset, we say it is taken over by the purchasing company, but its agreed value is not given. For example, we say furniture and fixtures of selling company is taken over by purchasing company, and the amount is not given. So whenever the agreed value of the asset taken over is not given, in that case, the balance sheet amount, the book value is the agreed value for that particular asset taken over. So whenever we calculate net asset purchase consideration, we have to keep in mind 2 points. Number one, that asset first must be taken over. And when the asset is taken over, then we have to see what is the agreed value. For agreed value, the amount will be directly given to you. For example, I said 20 lakhs machinery is taken over for 18 lakhs. So 18 lakhs is directly given. In some other cases, it will be given to you indirectly. For example, say that company is having computers of 5 lakhs. And it is said that computers are taken over at 90% of the book value. So you have to calculate 90% of 5 lakhs. This is called agreed value given indirectly. So agreed value will be given directly or indirectly. I said same thing because it could be given indirectly. For example, debtors, I said, in case of debtors, you know the balance sheet book value, plus they will give you bad debts, so which we have to minus. And after minusing, subtracting that bad debts, then again further we will have reserved for bad and doubtful debts. That we have to minus, and thereafter whatever debtors amount we will get, that is the agreed value. So in short, the agreed values of the assets will be given to you either directly or indirectly. And if it is not given, and simply it is said that asset is taken over by the purchasing company, in that case, the balance sheet amount the book value is always to be taken as agreed value. Similarly, for all the liabilities taken over, the agreed values will be given, and whatever agreed values are given, they are to be taken in that manner. And suppose again, it is simply said that a particular liability is taken over by purchasing company, but the agreed value is not given. So then what? Then that agreed value will be assumed as if it is the book value, that is the value given in the balance sheet. So net asset PC is always calculated in this manner. Agreed values of assets taken over less agreed values of liabilities taken over. This is nothing but what? This is actually not the PC. This is the net worth of the business, the value of the business that is purchased by purchasing company for the selling from the selling company, and for which the purchase consideration paid by the purchasing company is the actual PC, which we have seen in the previous slide, that is net payment PC. Now, very important point, after calculating these two amounts, see in some problems in TY and CA level, what we do? First, we give some details about assets and liabilities taken over by the purchasing company. And then we say one line, the required number of equity shares in purchasing company of rupees 10 each at rupees 15 per share are issued by purchasing company to the equity shareholders of the selling company. It means the net payment PC calculation details are not directly given. And in that case, first we have to calculate net asset PC in this manner. So this will tell us what is the actual amount, the value of the business. And for this, we will see how many shares of rupees 10 at rupees 15 per share premium is given by the purchasing company. So where the details of net payment PC are not fully known or given, you cannot calculate net payment PC first. So first you have to calculate PC as per net assets method in this manner, and the final amount here tells you the amount that is to be paid by purchasing company, and that tells you how many equity shares in purchasing company at what face value and at what premium given will be issued by purchasing company. So in some problems that is the order, but in a difficult problem which we always say in BCom or in CA, the details of net payment PC are also separately given, and the details about net asset PC in this manner of agreed values of asset liabilities is also separately given, and we have to calculate both the PCs separately. Now, after calculating these two amounts, then what? Now, net asset PC, what it is having and what it is not having. It never includes shareholder funds, losses, etc. See, you understand one thing. Net asset PC is the agreed values of assets taken over less agreed values of liabilities taken over. Now understand one thing. When we say assets taken over, which assets it will include? For example, on the liability side, say we have goodwill, land and building, plant and machinery, furniture and fittings, motor vehicles, computers, debtors, stock, cash and bank. These are the assets. These assets will be taken over if they are at all taken over by the purchasing company. But on the asset side, sometimes you find some items like I said, underwriting commission, preliminary expenses, discount on issue of shares, debit balance in profit and loss account. Actually, these items, they are shown as assets, but they are not assets. That is the reason why we call them as fictitious assets. Shown as assets, but in reality, they are not assets. So this type of fictitious assets, actually, they are the losses which should have been debited in the respective profit and loss account. And since they are not debited, they are carried forward and they are shown in the balance sheet. So these are actually the items of losses, expenses, and they are to be given to the owners, means equity shareholders. So underwriting commission, preliminary expenses, discount on issue of shares, debit balance in P&L, which you find on the asset side, they will not be taken over because they are not assets. They are fictitious assets. In a way, they are losses to be borne by the equity shareholders. Now, when we come to the agreed value of liabilities, say when we see liabilities, the liability means liability towards outsiders, and it starts with debenture holders, bank loan, creditors, bills payables, sundry creditors, outstanding salaries and wages of employees, outstanding expenses, bank overdraft. all these are outsiders liability which will be taken over, and these liabilities will never ever have the amounts or the funds which belong to the owners. जो मालिकों का पैसा होता है, इक्विटी शेयर कैपिटल, then profit and loss account, credit balance shown on liability side, general reserve, capital reserve, statutory reserve, dividend equalization reserve, and then preference share capital, security premium. All these items actually they belong to the shareholders, so they will not be taken over. So understand one thing, in net asset PC, these amounts will not be included. So that is what is said in this. So it will not include shareholders funds and losses. I said equity capital, preferential capital, reserve surplus, that P&L credit balance, general reserve, capital reserve, statutory reserve, fictitious assets, I said debit balance in P&L, underwriting commission, preliminary expenses, discount issue of shares, etc. They will not be included. So here one has to be very clear. Now, when you have both these PCs calculated, then what we have to do? Then we have to compare these two amounts. Why we have to compare? I'll tell you the reason. Suppose the net asset value of a particular company is say 20 lakhs. So net asset PC is 20 lakhs. And the net payment PC is 25 lakhs. That means purchasing company has paid 25 lakhs for the value of the business of 20 lakhs. So net asset is 20 lakhs and net payment is 25 lakhs. That means net payment is more by 5 lakhs. Now, whenever net payment is more than net asset, that indicates the extra payment made by purchasing company to the selling company. I repeat, suppose net payment PC is 25 lakhs and net asset PC is 20 lakhs. That means purchasing company has paid 5 lakhs extra to the selling company over and above the value or the net worth of the selling company's business. Now understand one thing, in business world, whenever these mergers and amalgamation take place, the purchasing company is not a mad one. They are very smart. So whenever they are paying that selling company any extra amount, they are not fool. So what for they must be paying that extra amount? They are paying that extra amount towards the reputation of the selling company. Now this reputation of the selling company in accountancy terms, we call goodwill. What is the reputation and goodwill? Because that purchasing company will get the benefit of the reputation of the selling company. For example, whenever we buy a particular famous shop, then after buying that famous shop, the ready-made customers of that shop will become the customers of the new company or that new business. So you get ready-made business, you get ready-made name for the product, you get ready-made customers, you get ready-made profit, because regular business is assured. So for that, some assured extra benefit, extra amount is paid, which is called as goodwill. But in accountancy, we say, if anybody has to say that this is the extra amount paid, so we might say it is a loss, but actually it is for the reputation of the selling company. Now, there might be a case where there is a problem with one company, and since that company is having a problem, it is taken over by the purchasing company. There is amalgamation. So in that case, selling company is having some huge problem, and that's why they are not in a commanding position. So many a times they receive less payment as compared to their net value, net worth of the business. And that is the reason why the purchasing company is paying them less, because they are in the commanding position and selling company is in the demanding position. So in that case, that amount which is paid less, let us take one more example. Suppose the net asset value of that selling company is 20 lakhs and net payment made is 15 lakhs. So 5 lakhs paid is less. Now this amount paid less by the purchasing company is in a way profit for the purchasing company, and this profit for the purchasing company, we call it a capital profit. In accountancy, we have two types of profit: revenue profit and capital profit. So capital profit is the profit which is not made every year. Why this is capital profit? Because buying somebody's business cannot be a regular activity every year, because somebody's business is bought once in a while, once in many years. So whenever this type of amalgamation or business is purchased, if there is a profit, this is not every year's profit. If it is every year's profit, it is a revenue profit, we transfer it to profit and loss account. But if it is not every year's profit like this profit, so it is a profit of once in a while period. So it is a non-recurring profit. In accountancy, we call it as a capital profit. and any capital profit in accountancy we transfer to capital reserve. And here I can take you to, you must have seen profit prior to incorporation. So that profit from the prior column also you transfer to capital reserve. One more example, whenever you forfeit shares and then reissue, then forfeiture and reissue, whatever profit is there, that you transfer to capital reserve. So in short, whenever there is any profit of a non-recurring nature like this, we call it capital profit and we transfer it to capital reserve. So here suppose 5 lakhs is paid less by the purchasing company, it will be called as capital reserve. After understanding this, let us see one example which I have said. Now after this, real solution we'll see afterward, but then when you compare, understand one thing. When the business of the selling company is purchased, then there could be a profit or loss, and both cannot be there. As when you toss a coin, you will not get head and tail both. एक तो आपको हेड मिलेगा, टेल मिलेगा. वैसे आप किसी का बिजनेस अगर खरीद रहे हो तो उस हालात में इन दैट केस यू विल आइदर हैव गुडविल और यू विल हैव कैपिटल रिजर्व. इसका मतलब एक तो आपने पेमेंट ज्यादा किया होगा, सो डिफरेंस इज गुडविल. अगर आपने पेमेंट कम किया होगा तो देयर विल बी कैपिटल रिजर्व. बट इन अ प्रॉब्लम इफ बोथ आर देयर एंड इट कुड बी देयर. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, अगर आपने एग्रीड वैल्यूज में गुडविल लिया हुआ है तो एग्रीड वैल्यूज ऑफ एसेट्स टेकन ओवर में गुडविल है, और जब आप कंपेयर कर रहे हो नेट पेमेंट नेट एसेट तो वहां पे कैपिटल रिजर्व है. ऐसा हो सकता है. तो देयर आर 2-3 सिचुएशन विच आई हैव डेल्ट विथ हियर. नंबर 1 कि गुडविल ऑलरेडी नेट एसेट्स में है और डिफरेंस भी गुडविल है, तो क्या होगा? तो दिस इज द एग्जांपल कि पेमेंट हमने ज्यादा किया है, सो एक्स्ट्रा अमाउंट इज 5 lakhs गुडविल, 5,000 गुडविल. ऑलरेडी नेट एसेट्स में 25,000 गुडविल ऑलरेडी टेकन ओवर में है. तो जब परचेसिंग कंपनी की बैलेंस शीट बनेगी तो ये सेलिंग कंपनी के बिजनेस के टेक ओवर के लिए जो गुडविल अमाउंट हम बताएंगे, दैट गुडविल अमाउंट विल बी 5,000 which is a part of net asset PC plus this 25,000 which is the difference. So total goodwill we show 30,000. Now this one has to understand. See, many time what we do, वो net assets में goodwill लेंगे ही नहीं. If you don't take goodwill in net assets, then ultimately here you will get difference as 30 only. तो आपको ध्यान रखना है कि नेट एसेट्स में गुडविल अगर आपने लिया हुआ है और यहाँ पे भी गुडविल डिफरेंस है तो दोनों को ऐड करना है. और अगर आपको नेट एसेट्स में गुडविल नहीं लेना है तो अच्छी बात है. इन दैट केस डायरेक्टली व्हेन यू गेट द डिफरेंस बिटवीन नेट पेमेंट एंड नेट एसेट, डायरेक्टली यू विल गेट दिस 30,000. आइदर वे, जो भी आपको अच्छा लगे, दैट मेथड यू हैव टू फॉलो. टेक अ सेकंड केस. नेट पेमेंट और नेट एसेट का डिफरेंस कैपिटल रिजर्व है. मींस व्हाट? द परचेसिंग कंपनी हैज पेड 10,000 लेस टू द सेलिंग कंपनी. तो यहाँ पे क्या स्थिति है कि नेट एसेट्स में गुडविल है, गुडविल ऑफ 25,000 इज देयर, और कंपैरिजन पे 10,000 का प्रॉफिट है. सो 25,000 का लॉस है गुडविल के नाम से और 10,000 का प्रॉफिट कैपिटल रिजर्व. जैसे मैंने कहा कि एक मैन में दो तलवारें नहीं रह सकती, एंड हेड एंड टेल यू कैन नॉट गेट साइमल्टेनियसली, सो देयर कैन नॉट बी को एग्जिस्टिंग बोथ दिस अमाउंट्स. सो हमको क्या करना है कि गुडविल गुडविल अगर होगा तो ऐड करना है, और अगर गुडविल गुडविल नहीं है तो ऐसे अगर स्थिति आ गई तो दोनों का डिफरेंस निकालना है. माने गुडविल नेट एसेट्स में है और यहाँ पे कंपैरिजन में क्या है? कैपिटल रिजर्व है. अगर ऐसा है तो 25 में से 10 माइनस होगा, 10 में से 25 तो माइनस नहीं होगा. तो 25,000 माइनस 10,000 we will get 15,000 and that will be the goodwill amount which will be shown in the balance sheet of the purchasing company. Okay, so that one has to understand. अभी यहाँ पे अंडरस्टैंड सुनो कि अगर ये 25,000 का गुडविल जो हमने वहां पे नेट एसेट्स में लिया है वो हम नहीं लेते, जो 25,000 का गुडविल हमने नेट एसेट्स में लिया है जो नहीं लेते, तो डायरेक्टली वी कुड हैव गॉट हियर गुडविल अमाउंट ऑफ 15,000 व्हिच यू कैन ट्राई आउट एट होम. सो गुडविल नेट एसेट्स में अगर लेना है तो ये डिफरेंस का ध्यान रखना है, और गुडविल अगर नेट एसेट्स में नहीं लेते हो तो ये आपको कंपेयर करने की जरूरत नहीं है. वो गुडविल हो कैपिटल हो, फाइनल अमाउंट यू विल गेट डायरेक्टली ऑन कंपेरिजन. दिस टाइप ऑफ वर्किंग इज नॉट रिक्वायर्ड. नाउ द लास्ट केस कि आपने नेट पेमेंट उनको कम किया है, सो देयर इज अ प्रॉफिट ऑफ 40,000 व्हिच वी कॉल कैपिटल रिजर्व, और जो गुडविल टेक ओवर किया है नेट एसेट्स में इंक्लूड है ऑलरेडी, वो 22,000 है. सो अगेन वी हैव टू कंपेयर. सो यहाँ पे 40,000 ज्यादा है, सो कैपिटल रिजर्व 40,000 है और गुडविल 22 है, सो डिफरेंस विल बी 18,000. सो जब परचेसिंग कंपनी की बैलेंस शीट बनेगी तो उसमें इस सेलिंग कंपनी के लिए 18,000 का कैपिटल रिजर्व आएगा. यहाँ पे भी अगर आप गुडविल नेट एसेट्स में नहीं लेते हो तो डायरेक्टली दिस 18,000 यू विल गेट on comparison of net asset and net payment as difference of 18,000 capital reserve. So this one has to understand. ना जब आप एक कंपैरिजन करोगे तो आपको ध्यान में रखना है कि गुडविल कैपिटल रिजर्व साथ में हो नहीं सकते, दे कैन नॉट कोएग्जिस्ट, और जब भी दोनों रहेंगे तो आपको डिफरेंस निकालना है, और दोनों में जो ज्यादा है उसमें से कम अमाउंट माइनस करना होगा, एंड द डिफरेंस विल बी देयर इन द नेम ऑफ द फिगर विच इज मोर, एंड फाइनली दैट विल बी शोन इन द बैलेंस शीट ऑफ द